Wait, remember Pucca? Yet another staple animation for Jetix that one look at these characters and it sends you right back to the first time you saw them. It's like Funko Pops, but cute. And honestly, as I'll dive into, it helps make this a surprisingly really fun show. At its core, it's a love story where the love comes from one side, but hey, who hasn't been there? Am I right? Anyway, the show revolves mainly around two majority silent characters who through some wacky adventures and missions land us in a world of some short burst entertainment. Pucca is one of those few shows that if you were able to take out all of the voice acting or had put the whole show on mute, anyone would be able to understand it. It has this universal language to it that I find downright charming, and I think it's what gave it its lasting effect to be remembered from its Jetix days. So today, I thought it would be fun to take a look back at what Pucca was really, and see why it was such a fun and memorable show. Let's check out Pucca.
Welcome back to the 25 Days of Fringe-Miss, where there's going to be brand...
Wait. Double Fringe-Miss.
Oh, you only thought you were gonna get 25 videos this year? Look at you. You look silly. But I'm here to fix that because I'm going to give you not only 25 videos, but I'm giving you 50 videos. I have 2 channels. That's 2 Fringe-Misses. Each day there'll be a brand new video on both channels for 25 days. I haven't slept in months. Enjoy the content. Or don't.
So, what is this show? Well, it follows mainly, not Pucca, but rather Garu, who is this ninja to be. Without speaking, but always showing off fierce determination, Garu accomplishes various tasks or partakes in various activities to master his skills and prove himself worthy of honor. But here's where Pucca comes in. She's this little force of nature that somehow keeps up with Garu on several levels to make sure that she can show her love to him in a multitude of ways, mostly by kissing him. And Pucca is someone that you truly don't want to cross. If you do anything to get in the way of her love towards Garu or hurt him in the slightest, you'll be paying the ultimate price. I think, especially from the era that this came out in, it really has this simplistic but effective look that for me brings me to the early days of online animation, from other ends of the internet to early YouTube animators, to even now with more stylistic animations. It uses the medium of animation to have fun, leave you with some entertaining moments or jokes, and before you know it, it's over. These parts would be cut into 3 segments an episode, with each segment being on average around 7-ish minutes. Why Garu and Pucca work so well is that while you may see it at first as Pucca being overly into Garu, who is showing that he isn't interested, it's really more so that he doesn't push her away or show any malice towards her. Instead, he is just more focused on all of the ninja training and whatever mission he is on more so than he does to her, as the stuff that he is doing are his personal core interests and values. So while Pucca can come off to what seems annoying, Garu is never angered by it to a point of hating on Pucca or being uncomfortable with her. Their relationship becomes an adorable companionship, more so because Pucca follows Garu anywhere, where we see how hard Garu works to accomplish his goals or extremely hard tasks, and how Pucca just somehow is able to do anything, making Garu's training look like it's all for nothing because everything seems to be a challenge that he has to conquer, and Pucca, well, she's conquered it all. It has a lot of what traditional older animation had. Sure, while there are these little story elements to each segment, more so it has this near somewhat slapstick, fast-paced comedy action that will take hold of the runtime for you to enjoy. It doesn't have a real goal in mind. It's these little stories that feel like quick missions where Garu has something to do and Pucca, yeah, she just does what Pucca does, either showing off to impress him or helping him face off against enemies or protect him from what they're about to do to him without him even noticing. But Pucca came together from some interesting beginnings, so let's take a look at how this all kind of became a show. So Pucca had a pretty interesting origin, starting off not as a concept for a show, but really an animated e-card service called Vooz, made in the year 2000. Now, this e-card service would find some popularity across Asian countries, resulting in Jetix Europe taking notice and licensing the property out for television rights in 2004, where the first thing we would see would be a couple of really short, well, shorts, that would be used as something to see on the Jetix website, as well as on TV between other shows during Jetix hours. Richard Wolff, the director of international licensing for JetX Europe, was able to recognize this one key factor that the show had, knowing Pucca would be worthwhile for them, and that was the possibilities with Pucca were immediately apparent, especially because you were left wanting more after watching the original shorts, which I believe also still works after you see the full show, and you get these smaller segments and you do want to see more wacky adventures with these characters. The shorts would turn into these standalone segments then put together as full episodes, resulting in the series becoming a staple for JetX, now being shown internationally through all of the JetX blocks across the globe. This series would be animated in Flash and offer a unique look and style with using the tools that it has to make a solid looking show, and it all would premiere on September 18th, 2006 and end its initial run on August 11th, 2008, lasting for 2 seasons. Along with the main characters of Pucca and Garou, the world itself is fairly fleshed out with some fun locations, a central village, and of course the other characters that we will see and meet, like Garou's main sworn enemy, Toby, who constantly engages in some sort of combat but always adds in some sort of trickery to get the upper hand. While he talks a tough game, he is rarely able to back it up thanks mostly to Pucca at the end of the day, probably having some of the larger laughs from the mayhem that Pucca inflicts upon him. Abio is another character that is a tough fighter that is super competitive, being the best friend of Garou who focuses on kung fu and ripping off his shirt, with him being specifically defined to be a reference to Bruce Lee, but clearly shows a more impulsive side rather than being calculated to take on any fight, which can often backfire in his face. He, much like Garou, has someone who loves him with a burning passion, and that's Ching, who after Abio saved her one time, she's been in love with him ever since. She's also the best friend of Pucca, so it all equals out to these two best friends liking these two best friends.
This Double Fringe Miss is brought to you by Gamer Sups. What's the deal with Gamer Sups? I mean, it's less than a calorie, it has no sugar, but it tastes great. Something's gotta give. But there is nothing to give. Scratch that. There is something to give. How do you like 10% off your order of Gamer Sups? Use code FRINGE and do it now. Please, it helps the channel. Do you want to do cool stuff next year? You want to make 2024 cool? You support Gamer Sups, you support me, and we're gonna do big things. Link in the description. Use code FRINGE. 10% off. Do it.
Our main constant setting is the Go Wrong restaurant, where Pucca herself works there as a delivery person, but also she lives there with her uncles, all 3 of them, who all own the restaurant together, as we get a lot of food-based plots from here. And within the village and beyond, I really like that all of the extra characters that have smaller roles that come in and out of the story, or just to feed into the plot-based moments, and in general with the village and beyond, I really like that all of the extra characters that have smaller roles that come in and out of the story, or to just feed into the plot-based moments, as no matter how silly or weird their character is, they always end up feeling at home here. I think with how colorful this show is, it really helps pop up the scenery and backgrounds where the village or the restaurant or any other set piece are all unique, distinct, and have a truly nice visual add-on to dress up the world. And similar to how comedy plays a fact into the visuals, when there's some action happening, the action itself is really well done, fitting into the style of the show without trying to be too flashy, but not underdoing it as to just focus on the comedy. The situations that we get into sometimes are quite ridiculous, but just crazy enough that it makes sense for our characters to have to deal with. Another design comparison that the show may receive is that of the Sanrio properties, having more short and simple designed characters that have bolder outlines. But they do have a nice direct separation thanks to how the characters are styled, especially here in Pucca. So with this specific look mixed with the comedy and action, it really helps make this a show that anyone could enjoy. It's easy to find some aspect about it that truly speaks to you. Now, outside of the show, there was more to the Pucca picture than some may think, as well as the show itself didn't stop at only 2 seasons, but a decade later saw new life. Let's take a look now at the extended and supplemental parts of the Puccaverse. Eventually, through Pucca's success, we saw a lot of property building outside of the show, from licensing deals in different territories to produce merch, toys, even fashion lines, all related and centered around Pucca, that would aim at age demos from kids to early teens. Heck, the show had Burger King toys in some places, but even more than that, there were some video games, such as a game for the Nintendo Wii's WiiWare catalog called Pucca's Kisses Game, and it would be just what it sounds like. You chase Garou around as Pucca, and you try and catch him to give him some kisses. Another game was for the Nintendo DS called Pucca Power Up, which was more of the same, just with some DS touchscreen features in this side-scrolling adventure. Lastly, an iOS game was released called Pucca and Friends, where as Pucca, you prepare food and dishes to serve to customers as you expand and upgrade your restaurant. Suffice to say that there was quite a bit of Pucca product out there, all stemming from an e-card service, really only covering one region of the world. In 2009, there was even a musical event for the show that took place in Peru for several nights, as Pucca was a really well-liked series in Latin America. But after the initial airing of Pucca for the 2 seasons it had, it would actually come back later for another season, believe it or not, with 78 new segments in December of 2018, lasting until October of 2019, which is crazy when you think about it. So many smaller or more obscure shows may often have random resurgences that you may even not know about because maybe, like in this case, it was first released in a different region. Like here, it was released in South Korea first, but not too long after the season finished, this season 3 would release in English as Pucca Love Recipe for Netflix on the last day of the year in 2019. And as you can tell from the visuals here, it is now done with 3D animation, but still finding a nice way to keep the exact charm and feel of the original show. And I must say, it does the best job it can at still capturing that, just now with a new 3D space here. Is there a weird one-off chance that a show like this could get a 4th season or something more in general? Yeah, sure. Heck, if a season 3 can be made a decade later, then more produced episodes can easily be an option in the future if there is some sort of interest for the series. Overall though, Pucca is a delightful little show that has some fast-paced concepts and action that result in some easy smiles and charming moments. I think having the name of the show being Pucca, while we focus more so on Garu, and then by extension the unrelenting love of Pucca, is a pretty interesting yet refreshing mix that at the end of the day really works well in a nice short burst format. Not everything has to be this big heavy commitment or something so dialogue heavy for you to build attachment to certain characters, understand who they are and the emotions they convey. Pucca serves as a testament to that, and I truly think that it's a nice little hidden gem of a show that'll leave you feeling really good at the end. That's the beauty of art, and this show is just that, defying the odds with an art style that has put some people off of it and a premise that on paper may not sound too exciting. But like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed this show and would love to know your thoughts on Pucca in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe. Later.